Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit, and this is the very crowded world premiere of the new Honda Elevate, the mid-segment SUV that the brand has launched. And right at the outset, I must say that this car has some presence. It looks very different from whatever we have in the market right now. If you look at the bonnet and the grille of this car, the bonnet is very high set, and the grille, as you can see, is slashed vertically. You can see this chrome lining here, but there is something very different, very distinct about the grille as well. It's almost closed. So as you can see, this part is completely closed and there is this opening here and you have these slits here as well. No front parking sensors, but this does come with Honda sensing, ADAS, and the Kia Seltos is coming, and that car will be loaded with all the level 2 ADAS features. You get this projector fog lamp. Front lighting is all LED. You have this DRL, you have blinkers which are integrated in the DRL, and you have the high beam and low beam right here. This is also, by the way, projector LED lighting. No 360-degree camera though, and you have this grey and black colored skid plate. What do you think about the front of this car? Do let me know. It does look muscular. It does have a high bonnet, very masculine. Typically, you don't come across with Hondas which have such a muscular front stance, but this time Honda have gone bold. Now about the dimensions. The one thing that you need to know is that the wheelbase of this car is one of the longest in the segment. It's just 1 mm shorter than the Taygun, which makes it a lot longer than the other cars in the segment in terms of wheelbase. So as you can see, the Seltos is 2610 mm and the Grand Vitara is 2600. This one is 50 mm longer. Although this is not the longest cars, but this is one of the longest. So in terms of dimensions, it measures very well. It's pretty tall as well. So the cabin space on this car is going to be good. So that again is going to be a highlight of this car as compared to the other cars in the segment. The boot space also is 458 liters, which is more than any other car. So if you're looking for space in this segment, then this car is definitely one of the most spacious cars that you can get in the segment. Now coming towards the side, get 17 inches wheels, 215 section Bridgestone Turanza tires. Another great thing is 212 mm of ground clearance. As you can see, this is a machine cut two-tone wheel, squared off wheel arches, cladding all around. However, if you open the door, it doesn't run all the way down. So this part doesn't open like it does on some other cars, which means that while you're coming off the car, the dress will get dirty. You get chrome door handles, request sensor. There's a key slot as well. Two-tone ORVM with trafficators. The sunroof here is not a panoramic unit. It's a small unit, and that is a miss. We would have wanted a panoramic sunroof here because that's in demand. A part of the cladding is this insert here, which gives the profile its unique look. And the greenhouse area is pretty big. There is this chrome lining on the windows, although it doesn't encircle the entire greenhouse area. You have these roof rails, shark fin antenna, and in profile, the car somewhat reminds me of the Brezza as well. It's very functional, got a high waistline, looks nice, but there is nothing wow about the profile of this car. Now, coming towards the rear, the lighting here somewhat reminds me of the Taygun. Now, this part is LED, but the reverse light and the turn indicator are bulbs. There is some reflector unit here, but the light is not connected. So this is how the light is when the brake pedal is not pressed, and once you press it, this entire section lights up. You also have a high mount stop lamp, rear wash wipe, and a rear camera as well. It's pretty functional, and the boot is not opening as of now. Let me just request for the boot to be opened. Boot is not opening. Okay, we'll try on the other car as well. Let's see. Is the boot opening on? Can I open the boot? Just a second. Boot. Alright, so as you can see, the boot is pretty cavernous, and this is 458 liters, The loading lip is also not very high, so it's a very usable unit, very practical if you're looking for space, if you're going to be going out with your family on long holidays. This has to be one of the nicest cars because the space inside is good and the boot is good. You have a 60-40 split rear seat. So in terms of storage, in terms of boot space, Honda have really managed to ace the segment. Now, in terms of the power output and the engine options, there are not many engine options. The familiar 1.5 liter iVTEC unit is the engine that is going to power this car as well. 121 HP of power and 145 Nm of torque. The fuel efficiency has not been mentioned yet, but I'm assuming that it would be about 18 kmpl, similar to what we have on the city, because the weight on this car would be slightly more, so you can expect 17-18 kmpl of ARAI fuel efficiency, which would be slightly less than the segment. In terms of the engine options that you don't have a turbo, you don't have a diesel. Also in terms of powertrain, we were expecting that we would have a hybrid powertrain like the eHEV City, but that has not been introduced as of now at least. Also, there is a 6 manual transmission and a CVT. There is no automatic or a dual clutch transmission like some other cars in the segment have. So in terms of power, only 1.5 liter naturally aspirated VTEC, a 6-speed manual and a CVT. No DCT, no AT, no diesel, no hybrid. So that's about the powertrain. Now, in terms of the interior of the car, that's where Honda have done a very neat job, but as you can see, it's a free-for-all and we've been waiting for the past 2 hours, but there seems to be no respite from people who want to be doing over and over again the same video, the same shoot, so we'll have to wait and I'll take you inside the cabin very shortly. So guys, this is the interior of the new Honda Elevate, and the plastics here are hard, they're not soft to touch, and the theme here is also pretty dull. It's not like a very bright chrome kind of a theme that you generally see in cars. So you have black, grey and this dark beige or brownish kind of color in a 3-tone kind of a treatment. This may look like a dark wood, but this actually is faux wood. This grey colored insert here and this dark grey insert here highlights the center of the dashboard. You have this 10.25-inch screen here, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and this instrument console is 7-inch TFT. Obviously you have all the steering mounted controls. The steering feels nice and chunky and it is tilt and telescopically adjustable. Now if you come here, you'll see that there are electric controls for the mirrors and you have lock, unlock. Driver's seat is auto and you have this push button start as well. You get wireless charging here, so this is a nice place for you to put your cell phone as well. You have 2 USB sockets, a 12-volt power socket here, 2 cup holders, and then you have some space to spare here as well. No electronic parking brake, it's mechanical, and there is some space here as well. Now what I really like is that the seats are very nicely bolstered, they are made very well. There is this leatherette covering on this, the stitching is very nice, and the headrests are pretty good as well. So the seats are very comfortable, so that's one highlight. But as I mentioned, you don't have a panoramic sunroof. Up front you have these 2 lights, and seems like the sunroof is not working as of now because we don't have the key. Alright, we don't have the key in the car. No cooled glove box, so that's a missing feature. Now I've made a list of some things which are missing. So you don't have a panoramic sunroof, you don't have ventilated seats, you don't have a 360-degree camera, although you have a camera on one side for blind spot monitoring. For the rear seats, you don't even have recline angle, although seats are 60-40, but I really like the seats here. I would have liked the seat belt to be adjustable, but it's not. But overall, it's a very nice feeling that you get here. Apart from this hard plastic dashboard, this leatherette insert on the dashboard looks nice. The AC is automatic. You get 6 airbags, and in terms of safety, while there is no NCAP rating since this is a new car, but Honda asserts that it's a very high quality body, and they hope to score well in the NCAP safety rating as well. On the door panel, you'll see there is ample and more space for your water bottles. So in terms of practicality and space, it does decently. It's not the most capacious cabin in terms of storage spaces, but you have enough and more spaces for your wallet, cell phone, 2 cup holders, and some more space here as well. Let's get to the back seat and see what do we have there. Now the good thing is that the entry is pretty easy, so for the ones who are old or short in height, it won't be a problem. You have this rear light here. Seats, as I mentioned, are 60-40 split, and as you can see there, you have plenty of soft to touch materials on both the door panels, up front and at the rear, although this plastic here is not very soft. You have 2 big bottle holders in the door panel as well, and the quality of the seat squab, the foam quality is pretty good, just like the front. So the seat quality is very good. Although I would have liked to have a little bit more thigh space, but I'm not complaining at all. This is very good headroom. The roof has been scooped out, and I am 5 feet 10. So if you are up to 6 feet, there won't be a problem. Good amount of knee room, really good amount of knee room. Good amount of leg room, and the view outside is also pretty good. So in terms of space, there is no problem. As I mentioned, the cabin space is one of the highlights. You have this rear AC vent as well, but what's missing here is there are no USB sockets at the rear. You just have this 12-volt power socket, which I think is a bit of a problem if you want to charge your electronic equipment. As you can see, there is this armrest with 2 cup holders. Rear 2 headrests are adjustable, but there is no third headrest, and this part is elevated, so this seat is good for 2 people only if you want to be traveling in comfort. But what I really like is that the seats are scooped out, and there is really a lot of knee room and leg room. So in terms of space, really impressive. Although I would really have liked to have a third headrest here, but the fact that you also get 60-40 split seats means that you can adjust the rear seats and extend the already class leading boot space if you want to be traveling with your family. You have this magazine holder as well here, and this little space for your cell phone. Let me just demonstrate to you. And the same is here as well. So the highlight for me here is the quality of the seats and the space, the contouring. Although you cannot seat 5 people here very comfortably, it's best suited for 4 passengers inside the cabin. Overall, while the material quality is not top notch, but the seats are very well made, and I really think that this car is going to be very comfortable if you're going to be traveling over long distances, especially with your family and with a lot of luggage. Now, a few other things that I would have liked to have in this car is things like electric seats. It also doesn't get ambient lighting, although Honda tells us that the quality of the sound is very good, but it doesn't have any branded audio like, say Bose or Harman Kardon. But Honda tells us that the quality of the sound is pretty good, so I'll take their word for it for now, but I cannot really vouch for that. In terms of other features, some other cars like the Grand Vitara is offering an AWD, which is not available here. What I really think about this car's highlight is that it has a lot of space inside. It looks like a solid, sturdy, robust car, gets the reliable VTEC engine. The space is really the highlight, and as you can see right now, we have this blue car here, that orange there, and there is that accessorized white car on the other side. So these 3 colors have been presented to us. It also gets a 2-tone treatment. As you can see on the orange, you also get a 2-tone treatment, so that's also something which will come. There will be more colors, but for now there are only 3 colors which have been demonstrated. The bookings will be started in July, and the deliveries will happen in the festive season. No specific date has been given for the deliveries. Now, in terms of the features, the big highlight this car has is the Honda sensing. And here I'll just give you a quick list of all the features that this car has. It gets adaptive cruise control, it gets a lead car departure notification, which means that if you're stopped at a red signal and the car ahead of you moves, you'll get a notification that you also need to move. You get road departure mitigation, which means that if you're going off the road, it'll stop the car from doing that and bring you back in lane. It gets auto high beam, which is a fantastic feature. It also gets lane keep assist, collision mitigation, braking, which is all a part of the Honda sensing package. Apart from that, you'll get a hill start assist, vehicle stability control, rear seat reminder. You'll also get an ACE body, which Honda claims is very sturdy. You also get wireless Apple Android 10.25-inch screen and a 7-inch TFT tire pressure monitoring system. Basically, it's not going to give you the exact readings, but if your tire is deflated, it's going to give you a warning. It also gets all the connected car features, uh, and it gets 6 airbags. So those are all the details as available right now at the world premiere of this car. As you can see, there is still like, a free for all. It's like a fair. It's like, there's some kind of a circus happening here. But within the time that I had and the kind of access that I had to the car, I did whatever I could. The pricing for this car, in my opinion, will start at about 11 lakh rupees and will go all the way to 16, 17 lakh rupees. In terms of features, this car is not probably as good as the Creta and the Seltos. The Seltos is soon going to come with a full suite of ADAS features. But in terms of space, this really aces the segment. So that's my 2 pence on the new Honda Elevate. And I'll give you my definitive opinion once the car is out and we have driven it. I really hope that you like this video. And if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe to Motoroids. And until next time, this is Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.